Fallout 4 is probably my least favorite Fallout out of the ones that I've actually played. Which, I've only played 3 of them. So I played Fallout 3, I played Fallout New Vegas, and I played Fallout 4. And out of those 3, Fallout 4 is easily the worst. Fallout New Vegas being the best. But I still love Fallout 4. I still go back and play it, and still go back and beat it. But I have to install mods. Because there's a lot of things that I just need to change. But anyway, let's get into some Fallout 4 lore. These characters were synths all along in Fallout 4. Who? Who were they? From Nuke Snippets?
Have you ever wondered how many synths in Fallout 4 are secretly pretending to be normal people? I'm sure you remember that early scene in Diamond City.
I swear, I'm not a synth. Don't shoot, for God's sakes, we're family.
Put the gun down.
Oh,
now.
I remember that
Synth.
interaction.
He'll kill us all.
In that moment, a guard shoots one of the brothers who had his finger on the trigger. But if you check his body afterward, you'll notice there are no synth components inside. And if you decide to reunite the family in heaven, the other man, the one his brother suspected, also turns out not to be a synth. But
so
here's the real
question.
Here? Since there's so much talk about the Institute replacing people with synths, there must be many more of them hidden across Fallout 4.
Hey, wasn't there an area where 2 people get into a fight? I'm pretty sure that was a thing, where people get into a fight because one of them is allegedly a synth.
Curious about that, so I decided to find them all. Some of the NPCs on this list are pretty well known to be synths, but others can't be discovered without using cheats. I was honestly surprised when I found out that some key characters had secretly been synths all along. Let's start with Diamond City, the place where all—
Maybe you yourself were a synth all along.
The paranoia about synths went the furthest.
I am not a synth. I am the same flesh and blood boy who—
That sounds like something a synth would say.
Grew up on these streets.
Component?
Yes, the mayor of Diamond City himself is actually a synth,
How about
just
that?
like Piper suspected. You can find this out during one of the Institute's side quests, where you have to collect a report from him personally. Or, if you finish the main story with any faction other than the Institute, and then return to Diamond City, the truth finally comes out. The people of Diamond City spot the mayor with synths, and after that, he injures one of the guards and locks himself in his office with his secretary as a hostage.
I remember
During my
that.
first playthrough, I finished the game with the Brotherhood of Steel, and since I didn't have any more quests in Diamond City,
I don't think I've ever sided with Brotherhood of Steel. I think I've only played this game through like 4 times, maybe 5. But one of them I didn't side with anybody because I didn't actually beat it. I just was doing all of the other extra stuff.
I never went back,
building
so I never
bases
found
and
out
things.
who Mayor McDonough really was. Next, let's take a look at one of the notes in the Synth Retention Bureau. Unit ID C241. Status: Unit at large. Investigation underway. Location: last sightings. Good neighbor. Notes: no recent sightings. Unit believed to be in railroad custody. Mem wipe likely performed by now. In this case, it's impossible to find out who this escaped synth is during any normal quest, but you can still figure it out on your own. You just need to complete the Cabot family quest line. Once you do, the singer from the 3rd rail bar stops being essential.
I remember that.
Crazy.
Yes,
I actually didn't even get through all of this part until the last time I played Fallout 4. I had no idea.
A synth the whole time, and considering all the possible romantic interactions in the game, like the robo-brain from Far—
Like, that was the guy from the beginning who, like, knocks on your door whenever you create your character before the bombs drop. When you meet him later and turn into a ghoul. It was that whole section that I didn't even know was, like, a part of Fallout 4. There's so much I probably still miss. Because I don't do, like, literally everything. And choices fuck up a lot of things and, like, end a lot of choices for you. So it's funny. Like, every time I go back into these games, I find more shit.
Harbor or Magnolia herself, it turns out the developers actually made it so that besides the companions, there are only 2 characters you can be romantic with in Fallout 4, and both of them are robots. But besides that, have you ever thought about who actually responds to the signal from the recruitment radio beacon and comes to your settlement? Have you ever wondered if some of them might secretly be synths? For example, a settler may look completely normal, but what if one of them has a synth component inside?
I want to trade a few things.
Sure thing.
Yeah, how would you know? That
Some
son
settlers
of a
will drop a
bitch.
synth component when killed by the player character. This can happen even before you ever enter the Institute. Synth infiltrators can sabotage generators in your settlements and even start fights with other settlers.
I had no
Usually,
idea.
a synth infiltrator appears right before an Institute attack. Just before the assault, they'll damage your defenses to help the synth attackers. Sometimes,
Do they?
synth infiltrators act a bit strange. They might randomly draw their weapon, stay awake all night, or have natural energy resistance. During an Institute attack on a settlement, synth settlers will turn hostile, and you can kill them without any penalty. Speaking of settlers,
I
there's
didn't
also
know
a place
this.
called the Warwick Homestead where a settler named Roger Warwick lives. According to his family, he's been acting very
Don't tell
strangely
me.
lately.
Do you
No.
think a person can change? I mean, really change, like deep down.
Sure I do.
I think you must be right. My dad's
Man, I might have to play Fallout 4 again because apparently there was a lot of stuff that I missed.
a good example. He used to drink all day and he never did any work. And then one day everything changed. He stopped
When the
drinking
Fire Nation
completely
attacked.
and started to work really hard. He suddenly seemed to care a lot more about what happened to the farm and to us.
And as it turns out, there's a reason for that. During one of the Institute's side quests, you're sent to the Warwick homestead to deliver some modified seeds to Roger, and that's when the truth about him is revealed.
We covertly replaced the family patriarch at Warwick Homestead with a synth.
He was replaced by a synth. What's even more interesting is that without this quest, you would never be able to learn the truth about him on your own. If you kill him, you won't find any synth component on his body. Most likely because the developers simply forgot to add it. But
Yeah,
that's not the
most
case
likely.
for another very well-known character,
I bet
one
that's
you
the
meet at the
reason
very
too.
beginning of the game.
Another settlement has sent word that they need our help.
Alright, that was just a joke. Of course, it's
Oh,
not
you
Preston
almost
Garvey,
got
it's
me.
actually another rather suspicious character in power armor.
If I appear suspicious, it's because our mission.
Oh yeah, I think I did kill this guy. I'm pretty sure I did. Oh wait, no, it got glitched. I couldn't continue the mission because he was just outside killing ghouls literally forever, over and over again. That I think it literally happened both times I recently played. Literally the same glitch happened.
Here has been difficult.
And of course, it's not a coincidence that he seems suspicious, because he's actually a synth. In the Synth Retention Bureau, you can even find some very interesting
knew it.
information about a synth who
I
was
knew
last
it.
seen near Boston Airport. Since only Brotherhood of Steel members are stationed there, we can assume that this synth is one of them, which is later confirmed during the main Brotherhood storyline.
Proctor Quinlan completed the decryption of the data you
And
retrieved.
now that they've introduced synths, is that going to be a thing going forward? Or are they just going to completely forget that they did anything with synths?
From the Institute. A portion of his findings included a list of synths that went missing or escaped from their underground facility. Paladin Dance is a perfect match for one of the synths on that list. Paladin Dance's DNA is a perfect match for a synth they called M797.
However, Paladin Dance's codename doesn't match the one listed in the Synth Retention Bureau. I think that's just a developer oversight, unless, of course, there's another synth hiding somewhere among the Brotherhood. I've even wiped out every named Brotherhood member, yet I never found anyone else fitting that description. Still, Dance really is a synth. If you follow Maxon's order and kill him, you'll find a synth component on his body.
Yep, and if they got the synth component,
So most likely...
no matter that you have a pocket full of synth components, if they got a synth component on you, that's what I'm saying, man. If you got like 10 of them, you're a 10x synth.
It's just a mistake made by the developers, but it's worth noting that some synths don't appear in the Synth Retention Bureau records at all. For example, while exploring the wasteland, you can come across a strange settlement called Covenant. To enter,
I know,
you have
that's
to take a
usually one of the first places I end up at.
special safe test, which is a clear reference to the GOAT, the Generalized Occupational Aptitude Test from Fallout 3.
Yeah, 3,
Oh
yeah.
no, you've been exposed to radiation and a mutated hand has grown out of your stomach. What's the best course of treatment?
I don't know. I'd say a prayer and hope God would save me.
Surprisingly, the test actually works. For example, Old Man Stockton's daughter from Bunker Hill, Amelia Stockton, was captured in Covenant because people suspected she was a synth.
I'm Amelia Stockton. I'm not a synth.
That's probably a lie.
I'm not lying. How
Is she
many times
lying?
do I have to say that?
She completely denied it.
The job was to rescue her, asshole.
She's a synth!
But as
She
we can
was
see,
lying.
the synth component found on her body leaves no
But maybe she just didn't know.
doubt she really was one. There are also synths living in Far Harbor, but in
there
this
are.
case, they weren't replaced
No.
by the Institute. It was Dima himself who did it. This is almost impossible to miss, since you learn it after unlocking Dima's first memory. Still, if you don't go to the coordinates of the medical facility under one of the beverage factories and instead move on with the story, destroying either the Children of Atom or Far Harbor without exploring the rest of Dima's memories...
I didn't think about destroying Far Harbor. I don't think I've ever done that. I think I've always just saved Far Harbor and destroyed the Children of Atom.
This secret might stay hidden forever, but if you visit the place mentioned in his first memory, you'll find out that Dima replaced the town's leader, Captain Avery, with a
I knew
synth.
about that. I did. Yep, I knew about that already.
I killed a woman from Far Harbor and replaced her. I stripped a synth's identity from her and made her an agent.
Originally, Captain Avery was human and the leader of Far Harbor.
That
she opposed
sucks,
the
man.
Children of Atom, trying to protect her people. To calm tensions and prevent a full conflict, Dima killed her and replaced her with a synthetic copy. One of Acadia's residents served as the memory donor. After surgery and memory wiping, the new synth Avery truly believed she was the real Avery and took her place as mayor of Far Harbor. But unlike the original, this version began supporting the idea of letting the Children of Atom live on the island. And through one of Acadia's side quests, we can also learn about another hidden synth living in town.
I need to talk to you about a missing
That
synth. I'm working with
motherfucker.
Chase. She told me that your designation is L792.
It's Brooks, the local trader who helps new synths arriving on the island and secretly transfers them
son
to
of a
Acadia.
bitch.
However, Dima probably didn't replace Brooks with a synth. He most likely just sent him to live in Far Harbor and act as a contact for newcomers. We know this because if Dima is put on trial and executed by the people of Far Harbor, and the player can't convince the mob to spare Acadia, Alan Lee kills Brooks, shouting that Acadia will burn, starting with that synth bastard, referring to Brooks. This means Alan Lee already knew Brooks was a synth, and probably other townsfolk knew too, but didn't really care. Now, let's go back to the synths of the Commonwealth. One of them can appear during a random encounter, a man named Timothy. At first glance, he looks like an ordinary person wearing Institute clothes, so it's hard to tell who he really is, a runaway synth or an Institute worker. Even during dialogue, he doesn't reveal anything.
But
he
he's a
just
synth.
asks for directions to Bunker Hill without saying who he is. But once you pull out your weapon, everything becomes clear.
Yep.
Yes, it turns out he's a synth,
How
one
about
who
that?
most likely escaped the Institute without help from the railroad, since they wouldn't just leave him wandering the wasteland alone if they had helped him. Another interesting case is a synth named Eve from the Institute. You can easily learn who she is by simply talking to her, but if you never approach her, you might not realize that she's actually part of a social experiment. The head of the
I don't think I've ever actually done much there. I don't think I stayed long at the Institute. I think I do the father quest, and that's about it. I don't move on and do anything from there, because I'm usually just trying to get the fuck out of there because I don't like the robots. I don't trust them.
robotics division wanted to test if a synth
That could
could
be
truly
anywhere.
live as part of a human family, so he used his own family for the experiment. Eve acts as a kind of surrogate mother to his son and, in fact, his wife. And even though she plays that role, she still helps other synths escape, as revealed in one of the Institute quests. Speaking of synths who live in plain sight, there's one you can easily overlook. If you decode a Corsa chip but stop doing missions for the railroad, you might never find out that one of their members is actually a synth, and probably not just any synth, but a former Corsa. She once worked for the Institute, but over time she began to question her role and eventually decided to flee. And of course this is Glory. Judging by her background, the tasks she did for the Institute, and the fact that in the creation kit she's listed as Corsa class, she was almost certainly a former Corsa. Finally, there's one more character you'd never suspect of being a synth. In fact, without using cheats, it's impossible to find out, because he's essential and can't be killed, and I'm sure you already know who I mean.
Another settlement has sent word that they
No, not Preston Garvey.
need our help.
Okay, just kidding again, the real
No,
synth is actually
you
his
got me.
friend, the one you meet with Preston Garvey at the very
Oh,
beginning
really?
of the game.
Oh, really?
Tell him.
There's a crash vertebrae
Well, that changes everything, man.
bird up on the roof. Old
Fucking
school,
Sturgis.
pre-war. You might have seen it.
Yes, Sturgis is actually a synth. If you remove his essential status and kill him, you'll find a synth component on his body.
Whoa, whoa! I'm on your side.
That's crazy.
So, after that, how can anyone...
That son of a bitch. Bethesda, they knew what they were doing with that one. They knew we weren't gonna find that one without exploits. Holy shit. That was a good video. I want to watch more of these, just like random lore videos. I love that. preferably from Fallout New Vegas, because that's my favorite one. I'm probably going to do a few more Fallout New Vegas videos coming up very, very soon. Probably not in the next episode, but I want to get into some Resident Evil stuff, actually.